All right, a lot of information about Battleworld is floating around. Yesterday, there was a Battleworld video on the official YouTube channel, which created some confusion. Where in game, it said 180. In the video, it showed 510. And also some acquisition, like the video showed 10. So we're going to go over the official KNULL kit. We're also going to go over the vampire kits. Actually, I'm just going to show them. I'm not going to completely go over, but a lot of people are asking about the minions in the thirst part. We're going to go over the new UI, which was updated to the game yesterday. It was actually probably one of the best quality of life things added to the game in a minute. So let's go over the official kit on KNULL. There's also some answers here to a lot of the questions that I posed at the beginning of the video. First, Battleworld boss, and that's Keynote there first. My understanding is that this is going to be expanded upon and hopefully it gets better and better. We're also going to go over what the player's voice movement thought about the playtest of Battleworld. I think some of them had a similar experience that I had, which was unimpressed entirely. Strike's fleet will reach the surface of Battleworld soon. So it's time to get briefed on the enemy. A massive, unrelenting force awaits, led by the King in Black himself. The creator and leader of the symbiote poses a threat unlike any other in on world, and he'll enjoy boosts and abilities that'll put your alliance to test. Today we're going to go over KNULL and his Battleworld abilities to prepare you for the boss battles ahead. But read on for info on how to eventually recruit KNULL to your roster and view important updates to Battleworld. Who is KNULL? Long before the universe was born, KNULL, an ancient god of darkness, existed in the void and harbored a deep hatred for the light and life that emerged from him. Wielding the all-black, the first symbiote he forged from his own shadow, KNULL became a terrifying force, capacity of creating and controlling symbiotes while shaping weapons of unimaginable power. And I know that KNULL is going to be in the movie Venom 3 that got released over this weekend, so that's interesting. Also, the timing of all this. His mastery over darkness and the symbionts allowed him to corrupt entire worlds, spreading his influence across the cosmos and leading devastation in his wake. Rising as the dark creator of the symbiote race, KNULL clashed with gods, heroes, and cosmic entities, determined to plunge the universe back into the eternal void. Below is the kit for the boss version of KNULL. So we're not going to be able to get the kit for the character version. There's a couple things in the kit, like the darkness, which they weren't ready to reveal. Maybe that information will come out next week, but we've got some data mines to go over, so we have some insight to potentially what that could darkness to be. I'm not sure that they've fully developed the player character version or tuned it or anything like that. We'll have the complete KNULL capabilities in future blog. Here's what you and your alliance will be facing in the boss battles. Now, I want to go down to the passive first, because this is where it's crazy. On death, revive this character with 100% max health, and this character's revive cannot be prevented. So this is meant to be like a kill count, and the kill count, I guess, allows this to scale quite a bit so that it's not like one and done. You can see if you got so many number of kills, like 20 kills, 1 kills. Now, I do want to reference their official video, which came out yesterday. One of the things that was in the video is that it's full clear, and then it looks like 10 shards. They're going to talk about this a little bit more in the blog post, and I'm not sure that this is set in stone. We did get a message from Pathfinder. Details are not sure on. Please keep in mind the video has been in production for a while, and some things have changed as noted in some of the Envoy videos. Yeah, I mean, the variations that I've personally seen inside of Battleworld are pretty drastic. It went from embarrassing bad to playable, and hopefully the version that we get on launch is better than what I refer to as playable. But it was actually at an embarrassing state at one point when we play tested it. This character cannot be cloned or have its max health reduced, so that's kind of like an anti-Mephisto mechanic, an anti-Mr. Sinister mechanic. Characters killed by KNULL cannot be revived. Wow. Prevents some of the loops and things like that. On turn, for every rage on this character, generate 1 ability energy for self, up to a maximum of 10. So rage counters are typically put on bosses to prevent like loops, and you just run out of time, and not out of time, but the number of turns you take escalates the abilities and the speeds and the damage or whatever on null, so that you're not going to have like infinite turns. Eventually he's just going to get more rage counters, and then it's going to be over. On the symbiote ally turn and on symbiote ally death, gain a rage. On enemy turn, fill this character's speed bar by 20%, gain 10% damage and 10% speed per rage. That's exactly what I was saying, is that the rage counter is going to allow for this to basically end at some point. Symbiote allies gain extra speed and health for every 10 rage on this character. Symbiote allies also gain more damage, up to a maximum of 250. Lower the passive assist chance for all enemies by 100%. Boy, that's gonna, like Odin kind of on some parts of his kits depends on assist. So does Old Man Logan, right? While this character does not have barrier, gain 50% damage reduction, and we're going to get some insight to how much barrier he's going to have. Looks like on one of his turns he can gain 10 million barrier, like when he does his ultimate or something like that. We'll get to that here in a second. There's a cap on the total health Null can lose each turn. The amount increases per tier. See Null's passive description in game for detailed information. So I believe that is a anti-max health damage. So like if you look at the super basic on APOC, it's 60% of the character's max health. Well, this is going to put a cap on it, and it's going to this mechanic here is going to put an anti-cheese of like Minerva, Phoenix, and the super basic on Apocalypse. So we'll have to see exactly what those numbers are. This character's max barrier is 1% of the character's max health and cannot be reduced. Now, the max health on the character based on the website, and I'm going to pull that up right here. This was on like the teaser site on the website. It looks like it's like 500 million. What? 500 million? Well, somebody in the comment section will do the math on what 1% is that. Is that like 5 million barrier? Anyways, that's a lot of barrier. I haven't done the math. But anyways, yeah. So the max barrier of this character's max health cannot be reduced. Max barrier is 1%. Max health cannot be reduced. There you go. This character cannot have their speed bar reduced. The speed of this character can only be reduced by slow. And I think slow is going to be important in this battle based on the way the kit reads. This character is immune to the following list of negative effects: ability block, exhausted, exposed, and stunned. Let's go to the ultimate, which is not going to be going off all the time. And also, I want to point out something else that was really cool inside of this screen right here. And this is actually something that we're getting in game right now. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to go in game and show you. But you can see there's like a ability bar, so you can see that, okay, the special's going off next, and we've got a little bit time before the ultimate goes off. And that information is pretty important, and there's some new tool tips that came into the game. We're going to go into an arena battle and look at that. It's actually pretty important, so we'll have to see how the community receives that. I think it's a great quality of life improvement. All right. So ability energy 6 of 10, attack all enemies for damage, apply 1 darkness. No information on what darkness is on an official stance. We did ask, they said they would get back to us. I don't think we're going to have what darkness is officially. Boylon did a video, and I'll put a link to Boylon's video. Darkness, and this is based off data mines, on this character's turn. So Null puts darkness on your characters. Attack a random ally. This attack gains 25% extra damage per darkness on this character, up to a maximum of 250%. So it's going to ramp up. Using this character's basic ability while this character has full energy, clears 5 stacks of darkness. Now, there has been some things put in the newer kits, and I have to go back and look at all the details where it says, like, if your character attacks an ally character that has the same tag, do X amount of damage or reduce the damage by. And so I believe that was going to give those teams that have that mechanic an advantage over fighting KNULL. I distinctly remember reading some of the newer kits that were released in the recent patches having that mechanic, so they're probably going to do better. So let's read more, because this darkness is on all three of his abilities. This damage reduces the max health of the target by 50% of the damage dealt. Summon 2 random allies from the following list, and it's got all the symbiotes: Venom, Scream, Spider-Man, symbiote, or Venom. Summon 2 additional random allies from the following list: Anti-Venom, Carnage, Gwenom, Red Goblin, Void Knight. Gain a bunch of rage. Attack is unavoidable and cannot be counterattacked. Then the special, which is going to be going off earlier in the battle: attack primary adjacent targets for damage. This damage reduces max health of the target by 25% of the damage maxed up. This is also going, this max health damage that is being applied is also going to limit the amount of time that the battle is going to take, so it's not going to be able to loop and go and go and go and go. However, other games have mechanics so that you can get max health back. And I'm curious to see if Marvel Strike Force introduces that to the game, and that is going to be the way that they sell you a team that'll do well against KNULL. Create a problem and sell a solution, because other games do that. They absolutely do that. Clear all positive effects on primary and adjacent targets. Spread all negative effects from the primary target to adjacent targets. On primary and adjacent targets with darkness, apply 1 darkness. The primary target doesn't have darkness, apply darkness. Primary target. Bury yourself for 10 million barrier. My goodness, right? Summon a random ally for the following list. And then there's going to be more. Symbiote spotting. Attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked or counterattacked. And this is just bonkers right here. You know, because the damage you do is going to be the health damage, right? And you got to get through the barrier first. He's going to be getting 10 million barrier. If this information is accurate here, where he's going to have 500 million and 1% of that is going to be barrier, this is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. And it's supposed to be, which is fine. I do kind of like that. All right, so we went over the special. We went over the ultimate. The basic right here is pretty long, believe it or not. Attack primary adjacent targets for damage. Clear 3 positive effects. Apply bleed. Apply 1 random negative effect from the following list to the primary adjacent targets. Ability block. Wow. Blind, slower, trauma. Apply 2 random negative effects to the following list of the primary adjacent targets. Wow. Defense down or disrupted, heal, block, offense down. So the one that he target's going to get, the more negative effects, the stronger of the negative effects. Primary adjacent targets with darkness, apply more darkness. If the target does not have blindness, apply darkness. And that's going to be the mind control type thing. Gain 1 random positive effect from the following list. Defense up, deflect, offense up. Gain assist from a symbiote ally. Attack cannot be dodged. And that's fantastic. Now, there is a couple more pieces of information, and like a lot of people have been asking about this 180 versus the video showing 510. My understanding is that the in-game information is correct. Do not know if this information here is correct with the number of shards, but I suspect that is the current plan. We will get more information in the future about that, but they do talk about unlocking KNULL. KNULL character shards available in the Battle World rewards. We'll see what that looks like when it's finalized and brought in game, because they're changing a bunch of parts. And that's why some of the data mines on this have been inconsistent, is because there's a lot of things up for debate. And we've seen in a couple weeks get feedback and then drastically change the node. And I wouldn't be surprised if it drastically changes even from today to launch. So the data mines have been pretty inconsistent on this. So make sure you play each week with your alliance to maximize the shards you obtain. You can look forward to even more KNULL shards in 25. So set the tone for your new KNULL requirement at launch and prepare to recruit the King in Black in the battles ahead. they're kind of like setting us up for maybe getting KNULL next year sometime, right? Battle World updates. We want to acknowledge and thank the envoys and the player council for their efforts in playing early versions of Battle World. Yeah. I wonder what the community would have said if they saw the first version of Battle World. It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Their feedback has been invaluable to our iteration efforts, and based on that feedback, we made some changes to Battle World outlined below. These updates streamlined the mission so you add more fun to each Battle World zone, because initially it was tedious. First on my playtest, each zone had 5 combat missions. Based on feedback, we have changed the follow. 1 combat mission per zone was removed, total of 4 per zone, and then they added this Herald Man, so it's less tedious, right? 1 standard combat mission was changed into a Herald mission. Herald missions will be a single wave mini boss missions that feature a powerful symbiote and their allied team. This mini boss will be more like a raid mini boss in that it won't use the shard, KNULL, boss, health bar, and display. Each Herald mission will include a simple but fun in-combat mechanic to engage with. We'll see. All other missions were dramatically streamlined to speed up the completion time and help alliances to get KNULL faster. KNULL arrives with Battle World soon. Be on the lookout at the start, and then they get, everything is subject to change. I do want to read briefly what the player voice council take was on this, and I believe this is just an initial statement, but I think they were gonna get their brains together, and because I think each one of them had different thoughts, just like I had different thoughts, then whatever, right? Battle World. If acquisition are a top priority, Battle World is the scopely top priority. A variety of videos have been released by envoys, recapping some of the feedback discussed and changes coming out of the playtest. We've also participated in the second playtest of Battle World at harder difficulty with our personal accounts. Generally speaking, the experience was much better after the adjustments were made, but a number of bugs were encountered and reported. As a result, we were only to do so much. Yeah, I got crashed out of it. It was buggy. I couldn't log into it. It was bad. But hopefully it'll lead to a better final product. I hope so. We were not originally going to release notes on Battle World from our perspectives. Few folks have asked for it, so we're in the process of aggregating some notes to release our collective thoughts. Now, a little bit of change of topic. I'm not going to go over this, but I just wanted to provide the kits that are on the minions inside the Thirst part of this event running right now. So this may be of interest to some people. I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to scroll past it here on the screen, where if you wanted to screen capture it or whatever, if it's something that you want to, if you want to make use of it, go for it. The one that I was the super annoying was the Cultist, which was the taller vampire. And yeah, this is, steal energy health. He revitalized the team, clear all negative effects from self and allies, heal self and allies by 15% of the character's max health. So like he outside, once you get through the taunts, was the one to definitely go after. Here is an offer that is not the worst. It's pretty cool. And then I just briefly wanted to show the tooltips bar in game, which I thought was amazing. And I think a lot of people didn't see this when it went into game. So we're just going to go into arena quickly. Not going to go into great detail on this, but like I said, I feel like this is one of the best things that they've added in a long time, where you're going to be able to see where your opponent is as far as what they're going to do the next turn, which is kind of important with these battles with in-game Thanos and Exposed. So like right here, I can click on Gladiator and I can see that he's got taunt, defense up. It gives the definition of taunt. And then behind me, I'm going to switch sides. Effects, ability, stats. I can click on the effects. We're in the effects tab. Abilities, we can see that where he is as far as his turns. We can toggle and see what they do. We can also see what version of fortifier he has, so that you have a better idea of if it's purple 3, purple 2, whatever it is. Stats, 10 million health. You can see what the actual in-game stats are, which is bonkers. I mean, this is quite an improvement in my opinion. And then, I mean, you can even see like it has like a lot of people aren't familiar that vulnerable like increases the damage, right? I mean, let's see if I can get a vulnerable out there so we can read like what vulnerable does, but it gives all of it. Okay, so we're doing it now. So like here, we've got vulnerable on the Mephisto right here. We can see ability block, vulnerable, what vulnerable does. Increases damage incoming by 10%, expose, charge, safeguard, blah, blah, blah. And then it also has the number of turns. This is just great. Charged. Then we can go to the abilities, see where he is. Well, he's ability blocked, but if he was not ability blocked, that's what, I mean, all of this is, and then what the abilities do, what kind of striker, how much striker, his stats, amazing. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.